And how is it working together as husband and wife? Has that been an interesting journey?
Oh, you laugh at that. I was going to say something so nice. He's my best friend, and he is. And I think we're good. We balance each other out because I can completely block a lot of things out of my mind, and he takes those on, and then I focus on these other, just meet a man and a woman, just like the different things we focus on, and he wouldn't even thought of that. And I'm like, oh gosh, I did not even.
Dino, what are you doing? Get out of my seat.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of On the Move with Matt. Today I'm here with Tyler and Emily Emerick, and they are the owners of not one, but two new businesses here in town. So they are part owner of the Drip Bar Winchester, and then they fully own the Voda, is it restoration and cleaning? Did I get that right?
Cleaning and restoration.
Oh, okay. I almost got it right. Okay. There we go. Yeah. And so we're excited to get to know you guys and get to learn about how you became an entrepreneur.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how did you guys get to Winchester? Are you from here? Or did you move here?
We're from Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. So not far, but we both be in the medical field and have had this goal just to work closer to the hospital, which is where we've worked for quite a while. So.
And have you guys always been entrepreneurs, or did you have other jobs and now you transitioned?
Take that one.
No, we have no entrepreneur background. We went the traditional route, went to school, got in the medical field, and we've been working in that for a while. And then just recently, actually in this past year, we kind of went full all in with the entrepreneur journey.
So has that been scary so far, or how's that transition been?
Yeah, it's been a bit scary. Yeah. My dad actually works for himself and has kind of done some home improvement like growing up, but it was very, this was not, I don't think it was our plan ever back many years ago, but it's been a little scary, but yeah.
And do you guys still have full-time jobs plus the two businesses, or how does that work?
I'm still maintaining my full-time job.
Okay.
And then she stepped away from she was working PRN at the hospital, so she stepped away, and now she is the main focus is Voda for her.
Full-time Voda, cleaning and restoration.
Yeah.
And what exactly does Voda do? What kind of restoration and cleaning?
Yeah, so like water restoration, water extraction, mold mitigation, and then cleaning, like residential carpet cleaning, commercial carpet cleaning too, when we build it up to that. But clean, and then if there's like an emergency with, your pipe burst, call us and we'll be there and help. We'll dry the area, make sure all of the structure is okay and fix the problem, and we can clean your upholstery and carpets while we're there too.
Oh, wow. So like if my basement floods, I have 3 feet of water in my basement,
yes.
Call you guys.
Yeah.
You can pump it out.
Yeah, we can. That was our first job actually in the area.
Yeah.
We had 3 feet of water in a basement.
Wow, I hope that does not happen to me or anyone else.
I hope not either.
And do you have like contractors that go in there and like cut out the drywall and stuff like that, or are you just removing the water?
We remove, so we'll remove the what's the word, the part of the drywall that's affected, so we can do like flood cuts. So what you've seen when it's like several inches, like about 2 feet off the ground, like the floor where the water was. We hope to establish a good relationship with a local contractor, just because that's too much just starting off for us to do, and that's not our background.
Yeah.
So.
And do you guys have like, every time we talk about like mold restoration, you think of the guys in the white suits?
Oh yeah.
Is that what you guys have on board?
Yep. Yeah. We have a great technician, and that's his background is water and mold and all of those, the fire removal or odor removal, and we have the suits like you would see off of ET. And that's what you wear for a mold job. I'm actually AMRT certified, so I went to an antimicrobial mold remediation class, and it is scary. So that is serious business.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I actually saw a post you guys put on Facebook, like you graduated some academy for Voda.
Yeah, we did. Voda University. We went to Madison, Wisconsin. That's where the base of the franchise is out of. And we had a week long of intense classes and meetings and things.
But then beforehand, she had to actually go. Oh, she got like her certification in carpet cleaning. She got her certification in, she's a
Water restoration
restoration,
technician,
yeah.
carpet cleaning technician, an antimicrobial mold remediation technician.
Mm-hmm.
I'm OSHA 30 certified, which
Oh wow.
So I joked around with her and told her
deserves a banner.
she has her RN, and then she's
Oh, yeah.
got all these
Yeah.
nice
Right, yeah.
certificates
Yeah.
for her
Oh, yeah.
cleaning and restoration background
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
the medical background helps you with this? Because you don't really think about if I'm going to be cleaning carpets, I need to go to like a college for it and get certified.
Right. I think so. I mean, medical, obviously I've learned so much and have a lot of experience, and just with like the season now is allergy season, and you don't really think about all of the dander and everything that goes into your carpet if you don't have them professionally cleaned.
Right. Yeah.
Especially in your air duct systems, which is something we were looking into doing too. Like Tyler and I, before getting into this, we didn't realize you had to clean the air duct system in a home.
Okay.
So again, with allergies and allergens in the area, and again with medical background, then yeah, COPD, any breathing issues.
Do you guys clean the ductwork too, or no?
We do and can. That's something that we have to buy some more equipment basically for, but that's part of what we can add on
Right.
if someone's interested in hiring us to do that.
And how has it been building the team? So this is a franchise, right?
Mhm.
So you buy into the franchise. Are you responsible for building the entire team of employees?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How's that? Can you walk us through that a little bit?
Yeah. Tyler, you can jump in whenever you want.
Sure.
But no, the franchise, they give you really great guides, basically playbooks in order to what to look for in it as a team. And we're big team focused in general. We try to do that in all things, and growing up playing sports and stuff. I think there's a lot to do with the people. It makes a big difference with the people you have around you. So outside of that, we put the job postings and they're coaching us to basically find this right person who knows this background stuff that we're just learning or don't know as much about. But we have one person other than us on our team. So it's a small team,
Right,
but
yeah.
it's a good one.
Yeah, there you go. It's building. It's growing.
building. It's
Yeah.
growing. We've got a good base, good foundation. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the franchise has been great. They give, like Emily said, the playbooks,
Mhm.
and they're all about hiring for culture.
Mhm.
So I think that's what really drew us to the franchise
Yeah.
as well,
Okay.
from leadership from the top down, that
Oh, yeah.
culture. And we had a success coach that's assigned to us, and
Okay.
we were able to actually bounce ideas off of them during the interview process. They couldn't actually sit in on the interview, but gave us good feedback on questions asked, things to look for. And then we went through the normal routes, Indeed, ZipRecruiter.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the gentleman we actually hired, he worked for multiple restoration companies, and he was, what you call like a unicorn, like one of those people
Right.
that,
Yeah.
you email them, they get right back to you. He actually reached back out to me and was like, just want to follow up after the initial call interview. Like,
Right,
so
yeah.
he's been great, and he's actually on a job right now. We've leaned on him heavily, but he's all about setting that standard, going by the playbooks, and kind of building that team as well. So
Mhm.
yeah.
And how did you even stumble upon these two companies? You just wake up one day and you're like, I think I'm going to own a business.
So
And now I'm going to be, it's not just being an entrepreneur, because you guys, when you're responsible for employees,
Yeah.
it's a whole different ballgame.
yeah. So I can talk a little bit
Yeah.
about both. So Drip Bar came about
Mm.
because me and my business partner, we both are in medical, and I'm real passionate about health and wellness, and I wanted to find an avenue to support people that way. So that's when we started looking for franchises. So we went and looked at two IV hydration therapy places, and we landed on the Drip Bar, kind of went down that road. And then after Drip Bar, it's been great. It's going well.
Right.
But then I was like, hey, wanted to maybe build something just me and Emily. And then I
Right.
wanted to get
Mhm.
completely away from anything healthcare related,
Right,
something
yeah.
out of our wheelhouse that was like, hey,
Mhm.
let's just jump in and do something different. And
Right.
home services really, perked my interest, just because the recession resistant, somebody always needs a plumber, roofer,
Right.
these sort of things. So I reached out to a franchise consultant. I was connected to one actually via kind of a men's group that I'm a part of.
Okay.
And he kind of took me through the process, and we vetted some of these other franchises. And he was like, hey, Voda's been at the top of the list these past couple months. They have a
Right.
great team. I'm happy to introduce you. And he introduced me, and I did some intro calls, and got
And
Emily on board.
Are they already in Virginia, or you were the first to bring them here?
No, they're in. We're the first franchise in West Virginia because our territory covers like Martinsburg, Charlestown, like West Virginia, as well as Virginia. But there's the business actually started in Lorton, Virginia,
Okay.
and then they franchised it fairly not too long ago.
Mhm.
But that's where like the founder,
Mhm.
yes, the founder of the franchise, the business himself is out of Lorton, and he's just phenomenal. So he's just
Yeah.
one of those people that everybody loves.
Right. Yeah.
If you don't, I don't want to be that person's friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There
He's
you
a
go.
good guy, really good
Yeah,
guy.
he actually came from, that's what Voda means water in Serbian. So
Okay.
he came from Serbia as like an
Yeah.
immigrant, came
Right.
over here, could barely
Yeah.
speak English, started a cleaning company, essentially took his wife's minivan, converted it into
Mhm.
a cleaning vehicle, and from the ground up built it to
Oh, wow.
what it is now. And at the time it was DNA Clean, and then he franchised it. Two guys came in, bought it, and turned it into Voda.
Wow.
And he's an amazing guy. And to hear his story,
Right.
he talked
yeah.
about he built it, could barely speak English, working out of his van. You go
Oh,
down,
wow.
and we actually went down and did our discovery
Mhm.
day at his location, and he showed
Yeah.
us his vans. He's got 15 vans, and
Oh,
you know,
wow.
a huge team that he works with.
Yeah.
And it's just very like, if he can do it, like,
Right,
we,
yeah.
we can do this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. About franchises and waking up one day, like you had asked, and if this is what we just all of a sudden decided. So Tyler, yes, that's what he decided to do. I'm the one that he's like shoving off a cliff.
Okay.
But once I met in a good positive way, but once we met Dragon and the owner and everything, and saw what it was all about, what they're about, yeah, I was all in.
It just makes
Right.
sense. Yeah.
Just made sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's meant
And
to be.
do you think becoming an entrepreneur, do you think it's easier to jump into like a franchise? Could you kind of have like a roadmap opposed to just starting your own thing?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hindsight's 2020. I could always look back and be like, I could have done Drip Bar myself,
Right.
But at the
Yeah.
time, a lot of regulation and things like that. And then in this instance, maybe, but we don't have any experience in it or anything like this.
Mhm.
So
Right, yeah.
especially with Voda, the playbooks, and just like, hey, if you follow this
Mhm.
and do what we've done, we have a track record. This works.
Right.
So
yeah.
right now we're in this process because we're just opening the marketing, and you're on ad spend and things, and anything with like marketing, you don't really see it right now, but they're just
Right.
like, trust us, 3 months from now this will all make sense. So
Right,
we're
yeah.
just we're just following the playbook, and we've gotten
Yeah.
jobs, and this is kind of it's
Right.
ramping up. So
Yeah. You just kind of plant those little seeds and
Yeah.
just wait it out, wait
Yeah.
out the tough times. And,
Hopefully.
Yeah.
See.
Hopefully no tough times.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think there's always
Yeah.
gonna be tough times, and I told her, like, the emotional roller coaster of owning your own business.
Mhm.
There's days where you wake up and you're like, I got this. This is
Yeah,
great. And then there's
yeah.
days where you wake up and you're like, man, this might not have been a good idea. But
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
so far it's all been good.
Pros and cons to everything too, of course. But franchise, we have 4 kids, and
Oh, wow.
you know how if someone else does the front work for you, it just made more sense to not start anything over,
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
and especially if they've already kind of worked out a lot of issues and gave a simpler plan.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what would you say your guys, I'm sure your kids, but do you have like, what is like the big motivation behind just waking up every day and just, going full force at this?
Yeah, our kids and our family. Family is huge, like for us, and I'd say who doesn't want to, have more time with those that you love the most. So I think he has a great job. We've had great jobs, and I love being a nurse. But it is so nice to be able to have a little more flexibility and plan your day the way you want it to be planned, and which is kind of starting these early stages around my kids' school schedule,
Right.
and being able to be there for drop off and pick up, and just hoping to give us that flexibility, and show them what hard work hopefully was able to do
Right.
as well. So
And do you guys feel like at night, can you shut it off? I know a lot of businesses are like 24/7, but with these businesses, it might be a little easier to shut it off than like real estate. Like
yeah.
you can shut it off, but you might be in trouble.
Mhm.
So he'll have to answer his part too, but I think that's what we're trying to figure out now, because I think it is, you want your business to grow, you want to be successful, and the more time you put into it, it's going to do that. But at the same time, I want to be able to have kind of shut that off at some point. And I'm hoping people will be reasonable and understanding if I don't answer, an emergent upholstery cleaning job or something,
Right, yeah.
with everything, there's exceptions. So we do have emergency services. So I carry a call phone, my Batman phone.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I mean, I think she's better at shutting it off than I am, and sometimes she has to reel me in a little bit, because with my experience with Drip and now Voda, when leads come in, or, you get a potential customer, that follow-up, people, just the way we are, we're all connected and everything's right now,
Everybody
so
wants it yesterday.
people want an answer now.
Yeah.
So, if you're laying in bed and a Google lead comes in for a carpet cleaning on messaging, through Google, I'm all about let's message them back. And she's like, Tyler, it's 9:30 at night. Like, does it really matter? And I'm like, unfortunately, people are on their phone,
Right,
phone
yeah.
or computer, and they're putting these in. So, like she said, it's an ongoing process, that setting boundaries for both businesses, just knowing, hey, we've got to come up with something where, hey, at this time, phone's away, shut it off. This is
Right.
family time. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be a constant thing
Constant
that
thing.
we'll be
We're
working through, but we're working on it.
through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
So,
and everybody that owns a business, it's kind of the same thing,
Yeah.
but the kids are only little once. So
Yeah.
I know it's kind of like trial and error. For me, it's kind of been like, maybe you say, like, for this next hour, we're riding bikes. I'll just leave my phone inside.
mhm.
And if I don't see it, it can't bother me,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you can do something like that. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's all trial and error.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
good advice.
I've shut off all notifications on my phone. Like, I don't get any,
Okay.
it's because the constant pinging, and I don't send it to my watch or anything, because
Right.
I don't want that little
Yeah.
distraction. Because, like you said, if you spend 20 minutes with your kids, but your phone is ding, 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 text messaging, you're looking at your watch, like, how much of that is actual
Yeah, you just
dedicated time?
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's been a big thing I picked up from a podcast I listened to. So that's been big beneficial. So
This episode is brought to you by, well, me. If you're looking at buying or selling in Virginia or West Virginia, I'm Matt Kilmer with eXp Realty, ready to help you with all your real estate needs. Whether it's finding the perfect home or selling your current one, I've got you covered. Reach out to me below and let's make a move. All right, back to the good stuff.
And is the end goal with this kind of like to get somebody else to kind of run the show a little bit, and then you'll have a lot of freedom, or is it too early to tell?
Yeah, I think it's too. I mean, I think like the ultimate end goal would be to run it like semi-absentee, or be definitely. I don't know. I like working. I think we're made to work.
Yeah.
In this world and our life and everything. That's what like God has called us to do and everything. And I firmly believe that. And I really enjoy this so far. I'm still on the up of just starting.
Right,
that
yeah.
could change, but.
Yeah.
Even with Drip, like it's really cool to see just in our past year how we've grown. And I have very limited, like I'm not there every day and all.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but I do like staying connected to that. And, but yeah, I think so. I think we'll have hopefully 4 good employees if one of our kids, or at least 1 or 2 that'll end up working and taking it over maybe.
Oh,
but
yeah. I didn't think about that. That would be cool.
it could be cool. It probably won't happen,
Yeah.
but it's all right.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I definitely, I know
Yeah.
we kind of both talked about our goals and things. And I think building that team, having that person that, like an ops manager or project manager, that could
Mhm.
run it. And then we as owners, still are networking, growing the business, checking in on it, but definitely, like she said,
Mhm.
eventually get to a point where it's a little bit more semi-absentee, where
Right,
we're just
yeah.
kind of checking in, making sure the big numbers we're doing well, and then, big
Right.
projects growing, expanding, things like that.
Yeah.
So
Our staff has what
Mhm.
have what they need, and
Right.
everybody, there's not any big issues.
Right.
I
Yeah.
guess. So
And how is it working together as husband and wife? Has that been interesting journey?
oh, you laugh at that. I was going to say something so nice.
no,
He's my best friend, and he is, and I think we're good. We balance each other out because I can completely block a lot of things out of my mind, and he takes those on, and then I
Yeah.
focus on these other. Just meet a man and a woman, just like the different things we focus on, and he wouldn't even thought of that, and I'm like, oh gosh, I wasn't even thinking about how much that cost, or
Yeah.
how much that would cost to add this much revenue or whatever. So, so far so good. I think so far it's still really early.
Yeah. So you kind of sounds like you kind of complement each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
joke around because I'm very much like a dreamer. Like I have these big visions, and
Yeah.
I scare her sometimes because I come
Yeah.
in with these big, like, this is what we're gonna do. It's gonna be great. And
Yeah.
she's very much a process person. Like, she's like, that's all well and good, Tyler, but how are we gonna get there? And she's like, wants to know how we're gonna get there and plan it out and things like that. So, like she said, I think we are very much complementary. But when I first looked at Voda and I saw this home service, I was like, in my mind, I saw this women-owned, who better to go in and talk to the customers but a woman,
Right, yeah.
like if they're getting carpet cleaning, they want to see me show up at their door, or would they want, her to explain to them? And we've already we had a practice run at our house where our tech came in and cleaned the carpets, and Emily came in and like, moved the drapes and things like that, stuff that us as men don't even think about. And we told our tech afterwards, like, Emily's like, this is small things that me being a woman, being a homeowner, I would notice. So I think she brings, great things to the team and things that we don't notice or see. So
the drapes probably would have been sucked up if he was in charge. Like,
probably. Or, they would wet at least several feet. Then they would have a water issue on top of this carpet job that we caused, and who knows that would have led to. But no, it's a good. Hopefully, it is a good balance, and we're trying to just use our strengths and help each other out, and obviously help our businesses. And
And kind of switching gears to the drip bar, can you explain to the listeners what is a drip bar?
Yes, sure.
I mean, some people probably just hear bar.
Yeah.
And they're like, what is this?
So the drip bar, we're an IV vitamin therapy bar. So clients come in, have a certain goal that they're looking for, health and wellness goal, whether it be weight loss, energy, detox, whatever that is. And we have a huge menu that's provided from our franchise that we can compound a personalized drip for them in the space with our RNs and our compounding hood. So we have that, and then other wellness offerings as far as sauna, red light, cold plunge. We also have some peptides. So
no bar, no drinking, no coffee. That's a lot of people will say is that there's their coffee, and it's just IV vitamin hydration.
Yeah, I mean, it's a catchy name,
Mm-hmm.
and it's becoming really popular.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of like NFL players or NBA players, they're kind of on the forefront there. And like, they get beat up and then they, get a drip. They're good to go.
Yeah. I think how much, I don't know if you're a coffee drinker or not, but coffee and soda and tea, I mean, we're constantly putting this stuff in, which is delicious, and we're not drinking what we should adequately drink for water per day. So on top of that, and the absorption rate of vitamins just being better in your venous system. So it's a win-win. Just fluids would be great, but if you throw in some great vitamins, you're going to feel really good and stay very hydrated.
So if you're where are you putting the IVs at? Like wherever they want to? Like I've had IVs in my forearm or, above the elbow. Like, does it matter?
I mean, I'll let Emily, because she's RN working in the space.
You would take a look at your arms and wherever you have the best veins, basically, and start there, because we don't want it. A lot of people are very afraid of needles and injections. And by all means, like I'm a nurse and I don't like them. I don't enjoy them. They're not pleasant, but we have great nurses on our staff, and you just usually go, where there's a good option. So, AC area, your forearm, hand, if you need to.
Yeah.
Most of the time clients will tell us like, this is a good spot, or here, can you try this? And,
yeah.
Well,
so if you inject it straight into the veins or the bloodstream, I don't know what I'm talking about, but anyway, if you put it in that way, it's much better than taking like a multivitamin, like a gummy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just the absorption is so much better. So, I tell clients, because that's a huge question that comes up. Well, I'll just take my normal vitamins, and the gut is which is great, but the gut is and we're learning more and more about the gut health and just the gut biome, and depending on your gut and how it is, you might only absorb about 30% of that specific vitamin that you've taken, and then when you take it through an IV, you're looking at absorption rate 90 to 100% absorption, because it's going directly, it doesn't have to go through being digested through the gut and then absorption through the gut and into the system. You're essentially putting it directly into the venous system. So,
And do some people walk in and they're like, I want to try this out, but I have no idea where to start? They're like, you just pick one off the menu.
I feel like majority. And it is neat, because it's like we have a very straightforward menu, and it just actually got revamped too from our like franchise. They made some kind of minor adjustments, but it's very simple. So if you're, if you're tired, we have some recommendations. There's a drip called the Soother, and it's like a lot of magnesium, so it's very calming. If you work out a lot, your fitness is important to you. You're in lift weights. We have an all-star drip, and it's great for kind of helping to build lean muscle. So there's beauty drips, and if you're sick or like a school teacher or you have kids and they go to school, there's a shield, which is higher amounts of vitamin C and magnesium, zinc, to kind of protect and give your immune system a boost.
Mhm.
So
If you have kids, you're definitely tired. So
yeah.
yeah, sign me up for that one.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
It's funny. The little story is we came back we went to Madison for Voda University. We had to fly out there. Emily actually went before, and we have a jet setter, a drip that boosts your immunity just because when you're flying and things, all that, the stagnant air and you're in with other passengers and things. And we came back. She was fine throughout there. When when I came back, I ended up getting the flu and was pretty sick for a few days, but
the kids
no
kids
issues,
do. And I almost don't want to say too much about it just in case, but it was like, he was down for quite some time and doesn't ever get sick. And I'll tell you, I feel pretty good. Felt pretty good.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Except for taking care of a whole house full of sick kids
Right,
and
yeah,
a sick
exactly.
husband.
I had the man flu. It was bad.
Oh, man.
It was
the
really
man flu,
bad.
That was bad.
It was a severe case of the man flu.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I never heard that term.
Yeah.
You should trademark it.
Oh, the man flu?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the flu, but then it's even worse because I'm a man, so I can't do anything. Like,
Right, yeah.
And it was at the point where I was telling her, like, if I don't make it, I love you and all this stuff. And she's like, you're being
So
ridiculous.
dramatic.
No, he did. Anna, I know he told the kids that he was going to die.
I said I felt like
And
I
our
was going
oldest
to.
is 10. So we have a 6, an 8, and a 10-year-old. And here they're crying, bawling. Because he says this and goes into his bedroom, shuts the door, turns the light off,
I
and
felt
that was
bad.
it.
I
And
felt
they,
really bad.
they literally were like,
I had
what?
to apologize.
Yeah.
I came out afterwards. I was
So
like,
we had a little talk with them after that.
Yeah, you got to be careful. They're really smart at that age. They're
yeah.
sponges.
And then they take everything so literal, if you say that.
Yeah.
And I didn't, I just said it just because I was feeling really terrible. And I
Right,
said
yeah.
it, just came out of my
You
mouth.
might have thought
and
it a
then
little bit.
I went into the bedroom and laid down, and that's when Emily, shortly after, and I woke up, and she was like, Tyler, you have to be a little careful because the kids came to me really upset because they thought, and I was like, okay, I'm sorry. So I went and had to talk to them.
You need to get a drip from the
Mhm.
drip
Oh, wow.
bar next time.
Yeah, next time.
So do you have to be 18 to use their services, or can you get a drip if your parent approves?
Yeah, we do minors. They're, I believe it's
like
15.
older teenagers. Honestly, I don't know the exact age, but 15, I'd say would have to be, I think, the youngest.
But we do parental.
Yeah, and they would have to have parental consent,
Right, yeah.
and everything, of course. So
And then your nurses are actually making all the concoctions behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's really neat. We have the 790.
Yeah, so we have
Yeah.
797 compliance. So it's if people want to look it up,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
essentially it's our sterile compounding hood. So
Right.
that's what's kind of differentiates us between us and other IV places that do this. Is why we went with the drip bars. We have a huge compounding hood. So like pharmacies, when they compound medications, it's in a sterile environment because you don't want to introduce any pathogens.
Right.
So we have that in our space. It was a huge expense to us, but for the safety of our clients. So once you come in, you meet, nurse talks to you, you decide what you want. We can make some little modifications. Like if you want to add this, you want to take away that, that's great. Then our nurse will grab our IV bag. She puts it actually in the side door. And then she puts her hands in, ever seen those science experiment things where you put your hands in and it's like that. And she puts her vitamins in and it's a negative pressure. So it's essentially not allowing these pathogens to be in, and she compounds it right there. Puts a label on it. It's yours.
Wow.
She puts it in the non-sterile side. She pulls it out and then,
And
picks
unless
up
unless it's like a pre, event or something, a different scenario, but you'll come in, you look at the menu, you talk to the nurse, talk to our physician if it's your first time, which is like via Zoom call, and then pick your drip, and she'll do the IV and then mix up what you want. So it's right then and there.
So do some people have memberships? They're coming in daily, weekly, and getting their vitamins?
So we have different membership tiers. From our R&D department, our medical department at the franchise, they recommend minimum once a month for 3 months to kind of see the effects of IV therapy.
Right.
But we have tiers, everything from once a month, 2 drips a month. We can sometimes tailor. Some people want, if they could, once a week. And then, we have memberships, and then people that just come in for one-off, or you can buy packages. So if you necessarily don't want that monthly recurring charge, say you want to come in and say, hey, throughout the year, I'm going to use 3 drips. If you buy 3 of them, you get a discount for buying the package.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then do people come in and cold plunge every day? Is that a membership too?
Yeah, yeah. So we have a recovery room membership. So for a certain price, you get access to our room that has, and it's a private room, so it's not like a gym setting where you go in and multiple people in the sauna
Right,
or whatever.
yeah.
So it's an individual. So you get access to the sauna, red light, and plunge, unlimited use for the month.
Okay.
So yeah.
Is it like soundproof walls in there? Somebody gets in that cold tub for the first time and someone else is enjoying a drip.
It's not, but we haven't had too many people where they've screamed too loudly.
Yeah.
I guess
Mhm.
they've got themselves mentally prepped for it.
Right,
I think
there you
so.
go.
I think that does take that mental prep period of time, but a lot of people seem to like the benefit of going from a sauna, so 175 degrees is that how
Mhm.
hot that gets, and then into the cold plunge. So that helps a lot too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
So.
like contrast therapy.
Mhm.
Do you set it at a certain temperature, or like
So
I listen to a lot of like
So
Gary
he's in
Brecka
control
stuff.
of that.
Yeah.
So
actually, our plunge is like the new all-in-one. So technically, we could give Bluetooth access, and people could adjust the temperature of the plunge, but that would
Right.
take forever. So I just kind of set it at a temperature. But when we first got it, I have a plunge at home, and I set mine at like 40 degrees,
Okay.
and so that's what I initially set
it's way
at
too
the
cold.
at the space. And Emily was like, "Tyler, you can't. That's too cold."
We
you
froze
know.
a few clients. No,
Oh.
So
just kidding.
we did a little research, and really anywhere, I think it's anywhere between
No.
35 to like
Yeah.
50 degrees is beneficial.
Mhm.
You know, it's just
Okay.
that initial shock,
Right.
getting in the cold water,
Mhm.
that mental, overcoming that. And then as far as the decreasing the inflammation and things like that. So it's set to 45
Mhm.
currently. So,
So
I
are
bumped
you
a little
doing
bit.
it daily? Do you think it? Because I have heard that where if you do it between that range, it doesn't. There's no scientific, experiments or whatever that
Mhm.
have proven that 49 is better than 35 or
Yeah.
something. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing that I've read and listened to is it's really about if it gets to the point where it's not cold enough to where you're dreading it, getting into it,
Yeah.
that's the beneficial point. So that mental, man, this is really gonna suck to get in this cold
Right,
water.
yeah.
I really don't want to do this, but you do it anyway. As long as that's an aspect of it, I think that's the
Right.
benefit to it. So,
And you're supposed to like go underwater at the end or something and put your body in the fight or flight, or is that not true?
I've only went under once or twice, and it was after like I was mowing grass and I was really hot anyway. So I got into it, and it's like you don't think about it. But this past winter, it's been rough,
Yeah.
because mine's in my garage, like going from
Oh, wow. You
cold
need to-
garage, and you really got to hype yourself up. So
Yeah, it's extra cold.
yeah. So I usually just get to up to the neck. The big thing is definitely try to full submerge as much as possible for the benefit. Yeah. So, and especially after workouts and things, depending on where I'm sore at. So like if my bicep shoulder, I try to
Right.
at least get those submerged. So
And what does the red light therapy do? How is that different than a sauna, normal sauna?
so the red light, a lot of research coming out on that. This talks about the benefits from beautification. If people are looking for less wrinkles and things like that, collagen production, all it boils down to is like the mitochondria. The mitochondria of the cell is the huge kind of talking, the powerhouse. Helps with that as well. There's been talks of it. It helps with like thyroid health.
Okay.
It also talks about people with like psoriasis, skin issues. It helps with that. So we have a woman that comes in. She has a recovery room membership. She's got, I believe it's some sort of, I don't know, it's like rheumatoid arthritis. And this time of year, being cold, her joints and stuff are killing her. And she said the warmth of the sauna and plus the red light has done wonders for her. So
Okay.
yeah.
And I have seen on your Facebook, it looks like a lot of people do like date nights at the drip bar. Is that a real thing? Or is that pretty popular?
Yeah, I mean, we run promotions, Valentine's Day and stuff. It's kind of like a BOGO, buy one, get one. But it seems like when we first opened and even now when people call, there's obviously a little hesitation, a little fear behind it because of the IV stuff, and
Right.
people want to bring their friends.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
on Facebook all the time, it's always like these comments. People are like, "We should do this," and then they like tag a friend. So
yeah.
we play off that,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
grab a friend and come in, and it's not as scary. So
Right.
yeah, and we
Better with a
do,
friend.
we can offer group discounts and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of have anybody like passed out or anything, or they don't like needles?
Yeah, we have. I don't know like specifics, I guess, but just I think it was just a general fear of like the
Right.
needle, and again I think it's there's so many components like that is mental, and if you have good mind control. But if you're able to prepare yourself for something and not dread it, though.
Right.
And I think just like the basic things with needles, like if you constantly think about, I have something in my arm, it's not supposed to be there. It hurts. It's going to hurt, even
Right,
though
yeah.
it might not hurt.
Yeah.
So I think honestly, I was really surprised about how many people that are truly fearful are actually members at our
Mhm.
at our place.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Because my mom has yet to be come to see it, but she's terrified of needles.
Right.
So I don't know what she's. I mean, she is, but she isn't. But other reasons too. But these people just they come every month
Mhm.
and they just do some deep breathing. And so we've had
Right.
a couple that have kind of passed out, but it takes a moment. Bring them back. All's
Yeah.
well.
And I believe we had
Yeah.
a gentleman. I believe it was a gentleman,
Yeah.
and he had what we call like a vagal
Mhm.
response. So it's like that fight or flight. So
Right.
after the IV's in, and then you kind of bottom out,
Yeah.
because you're like all hyped up, and then it's
Yeah.
over, and now you bottom out. And he kind of bottomed out and kind of did this almost like seizure activity, and like in the chair, and
Oh,
we had some
wow.
like ammonia salts, and he
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
came to.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
Had a great experience because then he walked out, and I think he signed up for a membership. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
How long?
So-
How long does like the average drip take? Like, because I've seen on your menu you can do like a shot, so that's probably like much quicker, right? Than if you're
Mhm.
actually doing like a whole IV bag.
Yeah, so the IV, if it's your first time coming in and you have to do the good faith and meet with our provider, you're going to be in there for maybe about an hour, 45 minutes. But we do offer the IM, the quick shots, which are essentially abbreviated versions of the drips. So it's still a great way to get vitamins because it's an intramuscular injection,
Mhm.
but it's obviously a quicker option. So we have, these IM supercharged. So it's like a power pack, but in an IM shot. So
Okay.
we have an IM lean for weight loss and things like that. So that's really quick. You still have to have the good faith, meet with the provider, but that takes 5-10 minutes, and then we can literally draw up the small IM injection. You can be out of there within 15 minutes. So,
So your first time, you go through like a little consultation about
Mhm.
Yeah.
what it's all
Mhm.
about and sign a waiver. I'm sure.
yeah, you sign
Mhm.
consent. You got to fill out an intake form, go over your medical history, and then that's when you meet with the provider, and she simply just goes through if you have any allergies, kind of what your goals are, what you're looking for, if you ever had IV therapy before,
Right.
and then she'll look at some vitals, if blood pressure, things like that, because we have
Mhm.
to take that in consideration. And then once you're cleared, then you can kind of pick from the menu what you want, and then it's every 6 months. If you're a regular with us, you have to come back and do another good faith, unless
Okay.
you have some sort of change in your medical history. Then
Right.
we'd have to give her a
Yeah.
call, or if you want to add on, because we can add on some medications like Toradol for pain or some of
Right.
these other things. If you want to do some sort of add on like that, it's a simple phone call, clear
Yeah.
with her, make sure she's okay with it before we can do that.
Yeah. There's not, and obviously we're not physicians, so we don't do anything without consulting a doctor. So
Right.
anything that we're concerned about as a nurse or the staff that day, we're going to call them. And
Right.
we have a very good relationship with our main medical director, and she's available like 24/7.
Yeah.
So she helps us decide, if this okay, or like in that scenario, which is like the worst case scenario. If someone would faint or pass out, obviously we're calling her while we're
Right.
doing what we normally would do if someone did that.
Yeah, because I'm
So-
sure some people you have to turn away, like if it's not going to be safe for them.
Yep.
Then it's not worth the risk.
Yeah.
For either of you.
Right.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, if you have like renal insufficiency and different things like that, like there's some things that like the doctor will have to look a little closely at our history and talk to people. Cardiac disease, obviously, if your heart's weak,
Right.
probably is not good to give you a ton of fluids.
Yeah.
But again, it just varies depending on the person and the scenario and a lot of kind of factors.
Right.
But,
And overall, you guys like moving to Winchester, starting your businesses here. What do you think the best part about Winchester is?
That's a good question.
I love Winchester. It's so family friendly. I love this place. My kids, we love the Discovery Museum. We love downtown. We just love the parks in this area. We're not from far away, but
Right. Yeah.
and we love West Virginia too. Don't get me wrong, but I've met some great people and great friends, and we're friends with some great families, and my kids have wonderful friends, and it's all since we've moved here.
No,
So-
yeah, like what she said. I mean, I think
Mhm.
family, it's, downtown area, you get a little taste of not necessarily city life, but there's restaurants and you can walk around,
city-
you know,
yeah,
like
city
city
to us.
life,
city to us,
yeah.
you know. But we live out on Apple,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful in the country. You
Yeah.
know, I can still have my little piece of land and
Right,
beautiful
yeah.
sunsets and the
Mhm.
things they do for the kids.
Mhm.
Even when they were younger, the library,
Mhm.
you take them there and they do the dance parties and
Right, yeah.
all the
Yeah.
stuff they do down
Yeah.
here. And then we found a great church that we're
Yeah.
a part of, and I love the area. I
Mhm.
think, and it's close enough. We're from West Virginia. Our parents still live in
Yeah.
Berkeley and right across the border, so we can still cheer on our Mountaineers and be Mountaineer
Yeah.
fans. But we live in Virginia, so
Yeah.
we have the benefits of living in Virginia and Winchester. So
Did you guys go to WVU?
No.
Okay.
No.
No,
Yeah. I went to Shepherd.
Okay.
So, mhm.
yeah, my sister went to WVU,
My
and then
sister did.
I grew up watching Mountaineer football and
Right,
stuff, and
yeah.
I've been to Morgantown numerous times
Yeah.
for games, and still a Mountaineer fan. But
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah,
Yeah,
so-
majority of our friends did actually.
Yeah,
That's
Most people
Yeah.
we went to
Yeah.
high school with went to
That's-
West Virginia. Yeah.
It's like, because I'm from here and I went there.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I got lucky. I was with, I graduated in 2013. So I saw Geno Smith play.
Yeah.
And he's still
Yeah.
playing. It's
Yeah.
just amazing.
Yeah.
Like Tavon Austin,
Yeah.
Stedman Bailey.
Golden
Oh,
years
I
there.
got really
man.
lucky.
Yeah.
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 Oh, Rich Rod coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if anybody wants to learn about either your businesses more, where should they go? You have websites,
Mhm.
emails. What's the best option?
Yeah. No, we have websites. You can just type in Voda, Martinsburg, Winchester. You can find us online. We're at the Drip Bar /Winchester if you're looking for that.
Mhm.
And then we're on all the social media. So
Mhm.
Facebook, Instagram, both platforms,
Yeah.
Voda and the Drip Bar. So
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time.
yeah,
and
definitely. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Thanks so
welcome.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.